Welcome to Power Women of the Trades podcast. This show is all about breaking barriers and changing the game. Our guests will feature some of today's most successful female entrepreneurs and other advocates of our industry as well. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, female-led entrepreneurship drives change on multiple levels. We want to empower women in the trade industry like you so you can maximize your potential, stay balanced, achieve long-term success, and claim ownership over your life. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, this is Leslie and Cassie with Power Women of the Trades podcast, and we are live here at AHR, and we have Kathleen Ridley, the tool wife, with us.
Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited to be here.
We are excited to have you. So tell us about yourself because you're kind of a big deal.
No,
and I want to hear it
not
from
at all.
you. How did you get into this? Your social media game is slamming. Give us all the details.
Okay, so lots of details for sure. So my husband and I have an HVAC and Plumbing company right here in the Atlanta area. We're about an hour north. My father-in-law started the business. He's been in business for over 30 years. 8 years ago, we moved up here, and my husband opened the HVAC branch of our company. Super talented, licensed contractors. I'm really proud to be a part of the blue-collar community. 6 years ago, my husband started the Tool Pros podcast, and we have started, social media, and just kind of it was at first a way to promote the podcast. And it's just kind of snowballed into more. Eventually, I was always helping him on the backside, and I kind of gained the nickname Tool Wife. And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it a thing. Like, I feel like the trade spouse genre is completely underrepresented, and I wanted to be a voice for those women and also let women know that you can still have fabulous nails and hair and get your lips done and look all fabulous, and you can still pick up power tools, and you can still walk on a job site, and you can hang with the boys just the same. So that's kind of where the Tool Wife brand came from, and it's kind of evolved over the years. I've been doing a podcast for 3 years now, and we've had a few other things pop up. Our most exciting thing is Miracle Mechanical. That's our philanthropic venture that we've started back in 2020, where we have corporate sponsors. Because really, let me back up. So we built this Tool Pros platform, and we have all these great connects with corporate sponsors and things like that. And one day, Brent and I were just having a conversation in bed. It's one of those just off-the-wall conversations. And he was like, these trips and tools are really great. Like, it's great. But let's do something that really matters. Right. So that's where that idea came out of. And we went to Rigid originally. They're great. We have a great relationship with them. And we were like, hey, so we need this much money, and this is what we want to do. And basically, it was just an idea at that point. And they were like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. So from that point on, we've been able to help 6 families. Our latest project was with the AHR Expo, where we went into a local high school, and we basically pimped out their HVAC lab. That's
amazing.
They launched this program in 2020 during COVID. The funding wasn't there. School was so weird. Like, life in general was weird during COVID. So they were really behind in the HVAC program. And so we were able to go in. We put in new equipment. We were able to spend time with the students. They'll actually be at the show today. I'm really looking forward to seeing them on the show floor. They are an incredible group of kids. I mean, I say kids, they're young adults. They're super passionate about HVAC. They're so excited about the skilled trade industry. And it's refreshing as business owners, because I'm sure you ladies know it is so hard to find people. So to see these young people be excited and interested and ask questions, and they're really thoughtful questions. Because, when I was in high school, like, I didn't care. I didn't know what I was going to do with the rest of my life. These kids had direction, and to be a part of that and help propel them on their career path was completely amazing. So we've had so many amazing opportunities come out of our social platform and from the podcast, and I'm really grateful to have this, and I hope that we're doing it justice by giving back.
I think you're doing it justice.
That's
amazing. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's a really good resume. Like, the things we wanted you to talk about you specifically because there's so many things that you're doing that I don't think we could have given justice to just read off of a piece of paper. The Miracle Mechanical, that is, I have goosebumps. I'm super excited. I love that, especially in the high schools. when we went to high school, we had to go to college, right? That's what they told us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a huge advocate of changing that narrative and talking to these kids while they're still in school about the opportunities, because most of the people that are working in these HVAC, plumbing, electric trades are making really good money. And most often they don't even have any debt because they on-the-job trained or trained in high school. And that's really good work, but they have to have the right tools to train. And so being able to provide that for that high school is life-changing.
Exactly. And the great thing about this program is that they not only get the education while they're in high school, but when these kids graduate, they're actually certified so they can go into an apprenticeship right out of high school. And the great thing about AHR Expo is, too, Nicole does a fabulous job with orchestrating everything, but they do the workforce development program where they also actually provide physical tools. We have a lot of great companies like Diversitech, Navac, donate all this product so that they're able to give them a tool bag so they not only have the skills, but now they have the actual physical tools to do the job correctly. And it's just an incredible program. And Brent and I were so grateful to be a part of it. Because like you said, when we were in high school, if you did anything less than a 4-year degree, you were treated like a redheaded stepchild.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a big focus of ours with our platform, is that we want to bring the sexy back to the skilled trade.
Sexy back.
It's like there's so many different avenues with, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. You can take it in so many different facets. Like you can go be a service technician. You can own a business. You can do a podcast.
Right.
And so we want these kids, we want the next generation to see that. And
It's not a fallback.
It's not a fallback. Yeah.
It's absolutely not. And like you said, you can go out of high school. You don't have student debt. There's so many different things you can do with it. And I think that the more we change that culture, I think society will view the skilled trades differently, because it is something that we have to have. Mm-hmm. We are the infrastructure of our country, of our society. And everybody needs running water. You need conditioned air. A lot of people, it's been really eye-opening, like whether going back to Miracle Mechanical, how there are people that they're not able to turn their faucets on and clean drinking water come out of it, or they don't have heating or air. And so that's a necessity that everybody deserves. That is not a luxury anymore. Everybody deserves that. And
absolutely,
as plumbers and HVAC techs, we provide that. And I think that's really exciting. That's really special. And
it's recession resistant.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. I think COVID proved that exactly. And I talk to our team about that all the time of, people we're hearing now, what are you going to do to prepare for the recession? Well, guys, and ladies, we're good. We're fine, because when everyone was sitting at home at COVID, we joked that the thermostat was moving 1 degree and we were having to run out there, and it was like, well, you're breathing in this room right now, or something, right? Tell your kids to quit leaving the door open. But
Exactly.
Everyone was home, and but we were still showing up, and
Mm-hmm.
we were proven to be essential. And I think explaining that to these students or even adults looking to change careers, that's a big thing, because at 18, though, did you really know what you wanted to do?
Oh, hell no.
No. And I went to school to be a dental assistant. I always joke, like, did I think I was going to be in HVAC and plumbing? No, absolutely not. But things change. But had I had resources and someone telling me I didn't have to go to college, because that's what I knew. I knew I was done with school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it's not just changing the students' mind around it. It's the parents,
Uh-huh.
right?
Exactly.
It's the influence of the parents. And what a phenomenal job you guys have done with this initiative and being boots on the ground, making it sexy, because perception is everything. I mean, look at your social medias. It's super cool to watch. That's what I love about you. You're beautiful, done up. And what were you cutting sheetrock the other day at your house with a
Just
tool?
cutting some duckboard
or something. And
Yeah.
I was just thinking, she's amazing. And you cannot put you in a box, right?
Right. And that's, that was also part of it when I started the Tool Wife brand, is that I feel like a lot of women in the trade industry feel like they have to be hyper masculine. You can't walk on a job site and have your nails painted, or, you're not going to be treated as an equal. And I feel like that's not the case, because if you know what you're doing, any man of worth is going to recognize that, and they're going to see the value you bring to the table, lashes or not.
Right.
And I feel like I wanted to shake it up a bit, because like you said, I don't change my appearance. I was a makeup artist for years. So it's like, that's who I am. That was, what I wanted to do. And that's what I find makes me comfortable, makes me happy, and I'm not going to change that for anybody else just because I'm in the skilled trade industry. And I feel like that needs to be talked about, and women need to understand that. You can still be feminine, but you can be tough.
That's right.
Yep.
That's our gift. We don't need to be like men. We can do everything they can't.
Exactly. You know, we can do it better in heels.
Right.
Yeah, I like it. It might not be OSHA approved, but we're doing it anyway.
OSHA.
Yeah.
OSHA.
We love you, OSHA.
Eat your heart out, OSHA.
And we love you, Google.
So, as the tool wife, Miracle Mechanical, your
Plumbing school,
your business, your HVAC and plumbing business, your I'm missing something. How do you in your children, right?
Yes.
So how do you balance life?
You want the honest answer? There is no such thing as balance. Every day is a different type of balance, you know? So it depends like on weeks like these. So this is week 2 of a trade show. So this week, you know, I haven't seen my kids a whole bunch, and sometimes even communication-wise, like when we were out in Vegas last week, just the time change was really hard to catch each other in schedules because, you know, your kids are busy, they have their things, and then you're doing your thing. And then when I'm home, you know, I'll make up for that, and I'll be home with them and focus on them for a little while and try to jump back into business as well, being at home. That's the luxury I have, is that I'm able to work from home for most of what I do. So I'm able to still kind of be like a stay-at-home mom, business owner. I kind of straddle the fence in that type of way. But it's really, there is no, I know people ask me that all the time. How do you balance it all? There's no such thing as balance. I really feel like you just have to be creative with your time. And when you do get a little time with family, you make the most of it. Our kids know we spend a lot of time at our shop. And thankfully, our new shop is very, very close to our house. So it's very convenient. But sometimes that means, you know, my husband and I are in the shop. We're trying to organize things and do stuff. And the kids are playing their Oculus in his office. And I'm like, oh, gosh, that could terribly end wrong. But, you know, you make the most of it and you just make it work.
I think that that is exactly what people, and especially women in our trade right now that are business owners or doing something new, need to hear, because we as moms put this guilt on ourselves for things that hold ourselves back. I know Leslie and I both struggle with this. Leslie sometimes just beats herself up over being gone. And I love that about her because she loves her girls so much. I love my kids so much. But sometimes I think we forget that the work that we're doing right now is actually showing our kids way more than we are giving ourselves credit to. We're showing them what we can do and what's out there and what's capable. But we hold ourselves to a standard that's not even obtainable.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. The mom guilt is so real. Like, you know, when we had 2 days in between trips and my kids were pissed when we were packing our suitcases again. They're like, "You're leaving again?" And, you know, I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I'm like, we're out here, we're building something. And ultimately, you know, my husband and I, we had this conversation on the way to the airport the other day are we doing the right thing by traveling and not being at home as much? And, you know, even just having a small business by itself is time consuming. Mm-hmm. Having 2 businesses is extremely time consuming. But I reminded him, I'm like, no, because I'm doing something bigger. I'm building something concrete. I want to pass something along to my children, but also give this example that you don't have to be in one, you know, single facet. You don't have to just be a stay-at-home mom or a business owner, or you can do both and you can make it work. And, you know, I do have that where, like, I have a special needs daughter. My daughter is 9, and she's got a condition called Noonan syndrome. And so for the first years of her life, she did not leave my side. And so Brent, I know it was like he missed out on a lot because he was working. And I'm grateful because I never financially had to turn down, you know, a therapy or a procedure or a medication that she needed. All I had to do was say the word. And he was like, okay, you know, I'll make it happen. And these were days when we didn't have a lot of money. We were broke. We were still building our business. So it was tight. And, you know, I was very, very attached to her, and as she was to me, because we've been through a lot. She had open heart surgery, spinal surgery, and I have been there for every needle stick that child has gotten. So we've been through a lot together. So to now kind of have a little bit of freedom and leave her at home. Of course, my mom is there, so she's like my other half. I mean, my daughter calls her other mother. So it's like I know they're in very well-to-do hands. Actually, I mean, I'm not even playing. My mom probably takes better care of them than I do.
Right.
Like, she spoils the fool out of them. But yeah, I mean, it is hard, but you have to keep that in check and remind yourself, like, hey, I'm doing something that matters, and it's something bigger than just that day-to-day. Oh, well, because like, for years, I had to be the extra mom at school where, I had to make these handmade this and do this and go to this class thing and do that. And you know what? If I miss their dress up day one time now, whatever, it's fine. They're not going to remember that in 5 years.
I'm missing Mother's Chapel this morning, and I got to hear about it last night.
It's hard. It really is, because you feel like I'm missing out on these things, but at the same time, it's as long as you're there for the big stuff, that's what matters. And when your kids get older, I truly believe that they'll go, oh, I get it now, you know?
And it's important for them to see what you're doing, not what you're saying.
Exactly. I've always been a firm believer in don't tell me what you're going to do, show me. And
Amen.
I do that with my marriage. I do that in my parenting. Like, my kids know that I would do anything for them because I've proved that, not because a lot of people say, oh, I love you, or I'll do this or that. No, like, put action behind that. And I feel like that goes a lot farther than anything anyone could ever say.
So speaking of your Brent, I also have a Brent that I am running a business with. And you guys are running multiple businesses together as a power couple. Any advice you would give someone working with their spouse?
That's a good one.
Not to put you on the spot.
No, you're not. I do. This is another question I get asked a lot, because I think people are curious is how we make it work. And, Brent and my Brent, we've been together 15 years. And I've been with him since I was 19 years old. We've kind of grown up together in a sense. And we've had really hard times. We've had really good times. And I think even, with our personal life and in business, number one, we're always a team. And it's really hard sometimes to keep egos in check and figure out, who does what. And I'm very strongly opinionated, and he knows that I am vocal about it, and I will tell him real fast if I don't like something. But there's also a level of respect, too, where I know my husband is a leader in his industry, and when he does feel firmly about something, I respect that. So it's a give and take, and we're all learning as we go. Like, I don't think there's any real great answer other than just communicate and talk. We had a conversation on my podcast a few weeks ago about something that was really it kept digging at me, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to just come out and say it. And we talked about it, and Brent kind of explained his perspective, and I'm like, oh, like, okay, I get it now. I get where you're coming from. I can respect your position. And when you do that, it makes things a lot easier. I mean, it's not perfect. Trust me. We still have our moments where I'm like, I tell him weekly, I quit. I'm not doing this shit
all of
anymore.
Our husbands, no one can see this, but all of our husbands are sitting here watching this podcast
and
this
they all
discussion.
Scooted back in their chairs, glaring over here,
mumbling under their breath. No, I'm just kidding.
People always ask me that same question: How do you do it? And I am very much a very opinionated person. If you know anything about the disc scale, I'm a very D dominant personality. And then to top off that, Oscar and I are both Leos. And so we're like, but I just say he's older and wiser, and he just lets me have my way sometimes. So he's smarter.
Oscar picks his battles, I bet.
He picks his battles very wisely.
Smart man.
But, I think that also shout out to our husbands for finding really strong
Look
women.
how handsome they are sitting back there. So pretty.
They all have really great beards.
And
There's something about guys with beards.
Guys with beards.
They're so smart and can work with their hands.
Yeah, we're so blessed. Like all these guys with beards and the blonde ladies up here.
Do we all have a type?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess so.
I think so.
Goodness.
Yes, we do. We do.
We might need a picture.
Well, yeah, we need to. We need to do that. For sure.
Definitely.
So, tell us about this plumbing school.
So, Plumbing School is our most recent podcast that we launched last year. And I'm helping Brent with it on the back end of just kind of organizing guests and things like that. Brent is a licensed plumber, so he's kind of driving the ship there. But it's basically, he was kind of like, he's been in the HVAC industry for over 20 years. He's been a licensed contractor for the majority of that time. And so plumbing was something new. His dad is a master plumber. He's been a master plumber for, 30 years. And so Brent never wanted to be a plumber growing up. He was like, I do not want to go into plumbing. But we moved up here to the North Georgia area to open the HVAC business branch of his existing plumbing business. And so his dad was like, you got to get your plumbing license.
Right.
So, plumbing, he's been doing that for 8 years now, and he's a licensed plumber. And so he's like, I'm a great HVAC tech. I'm good at that. Like, I'm comfortable in that, but I'm still learning every day with plumbing. So he started the Plumbing School podcast. He was like, let's learn together. Let's bring experts in the industry
I love that.
and talk about different things and break it down in an approachable way so that apprentices or, even veterans, like, I do not believe that you never stop learning. If you are in a position where you're like, I know everything, then you have shot yourself in the foot.
Well, and technology is changing all the time.
Absolutely.
New products coming out, codes change.
I mean, it's so rapidly changing and moving. And like you said, with technology and equipment, and there's something new coming out every day. We just saw a new piece of equipment at the Navien booth yesterday. And it's like, oh, it's something new. It's something new to learn. And so that was the purpose behind that. And so far, we've really enjoyed it.
Navien.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We need to get a tankless we just moved into our house a year ago, and it was like kind of a builder grade situation. We ran out of hot water. And I told Brent, I said, can you get us on the schedule? We need a tankless. And he said, I'll do it. And I was like, can you still do it? Do you know how to do that?
And
you haven't been in a truck in a long time.
And when?
And when? And can we get it on the schedule?
And because that's our life.
Before we leave today.
Change your filters. But I'm like, hey, so have we changed ours recently?
Right? It's like, the cobbler's kids don't have shoes.
It's so true.
I give Brent hell all the time because I'm like, these are things we preach to our customers, like maintenance contracts and servicing your unit. And I'm like, do you see that filter? When's the last time we've changed it?
One time in this summer, I remember we came home and he had to go out and help someone on a job. And he came back and I was like, where is he? And he was out there like cleaning our condenser, and he was like, well, after that call I just had to go rescue on, I felt like we probably needed to do this too.
Do you ever ask your Brent to do stuff around the house and maybe he says he doesn't know how to do it, or he's just kind of stalling, and then you say, you are a master plumber? I'm always like, babe, can you fix this drawer? You are a master plumber. And he's like, quit saying to everybody.
Well,
it doesn't mean I can fix everything.
I'll do you one better. I tell him, why can you not work the washing machine? You work on these big freaking HVAC controls. Like, these are big corporations.
We want an answer, Brent. Why can't you work on the washing machine?
And I'm like, why not even work on it?
Just put the clothes in.
Just put it in and push the button. That's where it gets lost.
Oh, do laundry, not actually work.
No. Like, just put laundry in the
Okay,
drying washer
I'm with you.
and put the detergent in. That would be,
weird.
yeah. But somehow, I'm like, you're brilliant. Like, he blows me away constantly. A lot of our crew members, they always know that they can call him if they need him on the job. So he is great at diagnostics and just listening and hearing. And 9 times out of 10, he can figure it out within 5 minutes of a phone call. But I'm like, you're so smart and brilliant. But like, can we put the dishes in the sink? Like, where is that getting lost in translation?
I love that this is the same because Oscar worked before our company. He worked on appliances too. I mean, you can do that, and something will happen, and he's like, "We can just buy a new one." And I'm like, "What? Like, what happened to the appliance business that you had, or whatever?" He's like, "It's not worth our time at this point." I'm like, "Fair enough, but
time is money.
Time is money.
That nowadays time is the single most valuable thing, and
absolutely,
it is precious.
It is, and we talked about earlier, you just really have to prioritize that time but I do love that they're all the same. Those master plumbers, master HVAC, mechanical.
What is a master HVAC guy called?
Master HVACer? No,
it's master plumber.
Mechanical.
Master.
Well, in Oklahoma, we don't have master, but we just say that. But it's master. What is it, Oscar? Can you hear me? He's not listening. Mechanical contractor is what.
Well, let's give it a name today.
Master. I don't know. I don't want to call him a master because look at him. He's getting
Yesterday,
excited.
they asked him the name for his name tag, and he said King. So we have to keep him
checked.
Keep him in check a little bit.
I love it. I love it. Do what?
King of the trades. That's what they're going for.
There
I
you
love
go.
that. New podcast coming soon.
King of the trades.
That's so funny. So what advice do you have for us as a new podcast? And you
you're
having
amazing.
lots of podcast experience. Because we'll be honest, I don't want to say nervous, but maybe even a little intimidated to talk to you because we know that you have way more experience in this. We call ourselves professional podcast guests.
Yes.
That's what we've been doing.
We've been on that circuit in our space for a while, but it's weird being on this side of it.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I have been doing podcasting and I've been on camera. I've been on stage. We just did a big stage presentation in Vegas and I still get nervous every single time I am a guest. I get nervous when I bring guests on my show. It's like, I think the misconception with me is that a lot of people see me on Instagram and social media and they're like, oh, you're this big extrovert. Like, I am not. Now my husband will talk to anybody. He's like, he has absolutely no nerves about anything. I overanalyze everything. I think about it way too much. And then I do it and I'm like, why was I nervous? Like,
Right.
I know this space. I do it all the time. Like, why do I have nerves? But every single time I sit down with anybody, I'm always super nervous about it. But so that's completely normal. But for y'all, just keep doing what you're doing and more or less be authentic. Like that is such a big deal. With social media and with podcasting, I think a lot of people feel like they need to put this foot forward that they think of what they want people to see or what they think people want to see. Just be yourselves and that will be received well. Ladies like you in this trade industry, you would think, oh, it doesn't fit. Like, I don't see the connection. It absolutely does. Just keep being your wonderful, beautiful selves, and you'll do great.
Okay, I want to leave with a personal question.
Okay.
So, creeping your Instagram, and I told you first thing this morning, you have beautiful skin, and
Thank you.
You let us know you were a makeup artist at one time. So, I want to hear your skincare ritual at night.
Okay, so it's actually not as...
and my husband's laughing because he knows this is the whole thing for me.
Mine is too because I was last night like, put your eye cream on. And he's like, what? So
I love it. First of all, I have really, I think it's so funny because I am so over analytical of my skin. So I think I have horrible skin, especially right now. I'm so dehydrated. Drinking water is number one. I notice such a difference when I don't drink enough during the day. I'm like, my skin's like, what are you doing? But also, too, my skincare regimen is really not that involved. I do a cleanser. I use it's Kate Somerville. It's from Ulta. It's nothing crazy. I use a lot of the Strivectin products. I do a serum, a moisturizer, and I just moisturize the full out of my face. Mm-hmm. I feel like the older we get, the drier we get. And so just moisturize. Of course, I get Dysport around of my face, so
I was getting ready to get really personal. And I was getting ready to say Botox or Dysport. I'm the Dysport girl.
I have Dysport from the bottom of my eyes up. So, and I have my lips done and stuff, but a lot of moisturizing, but also too a good foundation. So a good primer. I swear by Giorgio Armani. That is my favorite. It's a little pricey, but
you can't skip on foundation. You can get a cheaper blush or an eyeliner, but your skincare and your foundation, you've got to spend the money there.
Skin is everything. So that's my secret.
Love it.
Nothing too crazy.
I just think you're amazing.
Well,
I love that
I
love that we have covered a spectrum here of topics with you.
Yeah, for sure. We're all over the place, but that's exactly who we are in real life.
Exactly. I'm a Gemini, so I'm 27 different directions. Also, as a licensed esthetician, she does all my injections, and so she can kind of talk to me on a friendly level. And so when I went in a few years ago for my consultation, it was the first time I'd done any kind of injectables. She was like, okay, this is what you're doing. This is the best. Don't even mess around. You want to go you'll like this better. So, and she steered me wrong.
And you have to be careful where you go because some of them have taken it too far.
Oh my gosh.
And then you end up, and you're like, wait a second.
Well, and that's the advantage of she's my friend, so she can go,
yes,
you're getting a little crazy. Yep. We need to back up off that for a little bit.
You have to have that person.
Yeah,
that's how my sister is.
She's not afraid to be honest.
Well, Kathleen, it was so nice to have you on the podcast, and thank you for being a supporter of us. And it's really exciting to know you have the tools for your life, skincare, and all the things in between. And just thanks for being raw and real with us today. And we really appreciate you.
Absolutely. I was really thrilled to be here, and I really am excited to see the success that's coming. Y'all are going to knock it out of the park. You're going to continue to do it. I see big things coming for y'all.
Thank you so much.
This has been Power Women of the Trades. Like what you hear so far? Leave us a review in Apple, and make sure to listen to our other episodes wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.